Hello students, my name is Naman Goyal and today we are going to start chapter Introduction to Graph from class 8. Okay, this chapter is one of the most important chapter from class 8. Okay, if you see the weightage of this particular chapter is 8 marks, probably it's 8 marks, right? And which is very high for one chapter. And the use of this chapter is comes in so many chapters, right? Either it is from class 9th, class 10th, 11th, 12th and so on. So graphs are very important for in mathematics. Graphs are very important in mathematics. Okay. If you know how to draw the graphs of anything which I give you to draw, then you can do the hard problems very easily. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to talk about, introduction to graph. Okay. So in this chapter, in this lecture, not in this chapter and in this lecture especially, we are going to learn about the introduction first, then bar graph and then pie chart. If you see, there is a graph in which pupil percentage of people using social media on a daily basis. So the graph shows what 45% people use YouTube, 46% use Twitter, 60% use Instagram, 63% people use Snapchat, and 74% people use Facebook. So the data shown is in the form of bar graph. This is bar graph. Why it is bar graph? Because see, there are bars. The data is shown in the form of bars, right? The percentage is higher, the bar is become higher, right? Percentage become less, higher bar become, the length of bar become less, right? So that's why it is known as bar graph. So in bar graph, what you are going to see, you are going to see the bars. We use bar. And in pie chart, we are going to use a circle. If you see a cricket match, right? The wagon wheel, you know what is wagon wheel? Ki a player, there's a pitch, how many score, how many a player, how many runs a score at this side, like 20 runs, 30 runs, 10 runs, 0 run to this side. So that part is known as pie chart. Okay. Okay. So first of all, we are going to learn about what? Graphical representation of data. What is the meaning of graphical representation of data and why it is very important? Okay. See, graphical representation is a way of analyzing numerical data. It exhibits the relation between the data and ideas, information, and concept in a diagram. So what we do? See, we have a data in numerical form. So with the help of the data, we draw a graphs, and with the help of that graphs we can easily interpret what is the main concept of that particular data. So that's why we are going to use graphs. Okay, it always depends on the type of information in a particular domain. So basically there are so many graphs we are going to use for representing the data. Which type of graph we are going to use, for it's totally depends on the data form, in which form the data it is, right? So data type of information and type of information पे depend करेगा कि हमें कौन सा graphs use easy to read होगा, easy to represent होगा, right? There are different types of graphical representatives. Some of them are shown in the image below. Now see, the first type of the graphs is what? Line graphs, in which you are going to see lines. ठीक है, we are going to learn line graph in this course, in this class, है ना? Line graph is in our course. Okay, so line graph में क्या होता है? There are lines, right? This graph is like line graph, right? If you see the COVID patient, right? If you see the number of patients, COVID patients in India or over the world, so if you see the graph is like this, right? So this is what? Line graph. We are going to see the lines in that particular graph, right? So that graph is known as line graph. Stem and leaf plot. So it is basically there is stems and we are going to write down leaves. We rarely use this graph in our daily life. Okay. See, this is bar graph. As I told you, in bar graph, what we do, we just make bars, right? So if you see, there are some bars I draw, right, like this. Okay. Now next is what? Histogram. Next, let me change the color. Which color I'm going to take? Yes, this color. देखो, histogram and bar graph. There are two types of graph, one is histogram and one is bar graph. You can see the difference. देखो difference बहुत कम है ना, दोनों में bars use हो रहे हैं. The difference is what? The gap is present in bar graph, but histogram there is no gap between two bars. ठीक है, देखो there is no gap है ना, one after one, right? Like this. Are you getting my point? So gap is present in bar graph, but gaps is not present in histogram, right? This is line plot. Okay, this is box and risky plot. This is frequency table. We know that how we draw frequency table, right? This is what circle graph, or this is pie chart. This graph is what? Pie chart. Okay. So in today's lecture we are going to learn about bar graph and circle graph, which is pie chart. In next lecture we are going to learn about line graph, histogram, linear graph, and so on. Got it? So first we are going to start with line graph. No, not line graph, bar graph. देखो, a bar graph diagram is a pictorial representation of the data. See, we represent the data in a picture. See, this is what? This is a picture, right? This is a picture, okay? So a bar graph is a pictorial representation of the data by a series of bars or rectangles of uniform width. See, if you see the width for every bar is uniform, means is same. Height can be different, right? The height of the bar is totally depends on what? It's totally depends on data, right? But the width is always constant, and the space between two bars is also remains constant. Okay, standing on a horizontal line or a vertical line. See, this bar graph is bars are standing on horizontal line, and we can also draw the bar graph in which the bars are standing on vertical line like this. We can draw the graph like this also, right? If we are going to use a proper graph paper, then we can draw it, right? And I draw this by free hand. That's why the width is not remains constant uniform. Okay. So this is also bar graph, and this is also bar graph. Okay. In this, the graphs are standing on vertical lines, right? And vertical, and in this it is on horizontal. Okay. Okay, with equal spacing. As I told you, the spacing between two bars is always equal, right? For every bars, each bars, right? Now each rectangle and bar represent only one numerical values of the data, है ना? एक ही numerical, तो height जो होगा ना बार का, वही जो height है वो उसकी numerical value को represent कर रहा है ना. For this particular graph, देखो यहाँ आगे पे एक graph है हमारे पास. Nicest fruit means there are some fruits: apple, orange, banana, kiwi fruit, blueberry, and grapes. Now we have a data ki how many people like apple, how many people like orange, banana, kiwi fruit, blueberry, and grapes, and so on. We have the data. So there are 35 people who like apple to eat. There are 30 people who like orange. There are 10 pupils who like banana. There are 25 pupils who like kiwi fruit. There are 40 pupils who like blueberry, and there are 5 pupils who like grapes. So the bar represent what? Number of pupils, है ना? कि कितने पीपल बनाना को लाइक करते हैं, कितने पीपल एप्पल लाइक कर रहे हैं, और कितने ब्लूबेरीज, राइट? है ना? तो बार क्या है? एक न्यूमेरिकल रिप्रेजेंट, बार रिप्रेजेंट ओनली वन न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू ऑफ द डेटा. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत सारी वैल्यूज 40 तक, नहीं, एक ही है ना. 35 like apple, right? Okay, now with the help of this graph you can easily interpret the informations. Like how you interpret it? Now see, if I am asking that ki how many people like blueberry, now you can easily told me ki sir 40 people like blueberry, because the length of the bar of blueberry is 40, right? So you can easily tell me like that. ठीक है. अच्छा, if I'm asking that ki how many people like banana, so how many people are there who like banana? Tell me. Tell me. 10, right? 10 people are there who like banana, right? And if I'm asking that ki tell me the name of fruit which is liked by least people, सबसे कम पीपल ने कौन सा फ्रूट लाइक किया है? सो यू टोल्ड मी दैट द बार, जिसका बार छोटा होगा सबसे, वो सबसे कम यूज कर रहे हैं लोग, लाइक कर रहे हैं। तो आंसर इज व्हाट? ग्रेप्स, राइट? एंड इफ आई एम आस्किंग दैट कि जो सबसे ज्यादा फ्रूट लोगों ने लाइक किया है, सो द आंसर इज व्हाट? ब्लूबेरी, राइट? सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस ग्राफ यू कैन गिव द आंसर विद इन अ सेकेंड। ठीक है, अगर मैं आपको डेटा दे दूं कि आप, इफ आई गिव यू द नेम्स ऑफ 100 पीपल्स, ठीक है, एंड इफ आई राइट डाउन द नेम्स ऑफ फ्रूट इन आफ्टर हिज नेम, कि वो फ्रूट वो पसंद करता है, तो इफ आई एम आस्किंग दैट हाउ मेनी पीपल्स लाइक बनाना, so you have to see the complete 100 people's name. It will take time, right? And if I draw the bar graph of that particular data, and it will take hardly seconds, right? 1 second, 2 second. ठीक है, तो this is the benefit of the bar graph or any graph. So it is very important to use the graph for representing the data, right? Are you getting my point? Is there any doubt? Okay, so you know, you got, have you got it? What is the use of bar graph, right? What is the work of bar graph? Why we use bar graph, है ना? ठीक है, कर लेंगे, कर सकते, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं ना, है ना? ईच रेक्टेंगल, ये पॉइंट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि एक रेक्टेंगल जो है, एक बार जो है, इट विल रिप्रेजेंट ओनली वन न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू, है ना? वो सारी न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यूज को रिप्रेजेंट नहीं करता है, वो सिर्फ एक न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यू को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, एंड द न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यूज इज व्हाट? द हाइट ऑफ दैट बार। गॉट इट? ओके, वेरी नाइस। नेक्स्ट, नाउ देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन, वी हैव टू ड्रॉ द बार ग्राफ, राइट? ठीक है, now the following table shows the number of students participating in various games in a school. ठीक है, draw a bar graph to represent the above data. Now there are 27 students who like cricket, who wants to participate in cricket. 36 students who want to participate in football, 18 in basketball, and 12 in tennis. Okay, so along y-axis take one square, small square as 3 unit. Okay, ठीक है, fair enough. Okay, so first of all we have to draw the x-axis. This is y-axis. On x-axis, what we are going to take? Games, right? On y-axis, what we are going to take? Number of students. Number of students, right? Okay. Now, first sport is what? Cricket. Second sport is what? Football. Third is basketball, है ना? I can take B ball, BA, right? Which is basketball, and tennis, right? ठीक है. Now we have to take gap of 3 unit, right? One square. If you see the graph paper, there are squares already there in graph paper. So question says that you have to take one square, you small square, as 3 unit. So this is 0, then 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, right? Now we are going to draw the bars with different colors. Okay, first for cricket 27 is there, so we have to draw a bar up to 27 height, right? So the bar we got, this is the bar we got. Okay, now for 36, next is 36, we have to draw the graph bar up to 36. So 36, right? This is the 36, right? है ना? देखो, if you are going to use proper bar graph, the width of the each bar is remains constant. ठीक है, I draw this bar graph by free hand, that's why it not look like same. Now for basketball it is 18, right? So this is 18. Now for tennis it is 12, right? Now we have to select for tennis, right? 12. Okay, so this is the bar graph we got for this particular question. Okay, so if after drawing this bar graph, Okay, the data is given is known as, this form is known as what? Tabular form. This is what? Tabular form of data, for tabular representation of data. Tabular representation of data, okay, because the data is represented in tables, right? That's why we can tell it is a tabular form. Okay, now now with the help of this bar graph, you can easily tell me ki football are most likely game, right? And tennis is the least likely game. Okay, got it. So if you see, we got the same bar graph. Got it. Okay, now next is what? Pie chart, है ना? देखो, for pie chart, or it is also known as circle graph. ठीक है, देखो, a pie chart is a way of representing data in a circular graph, right? Pie slices of the chart shows the relative size of the data. Okay, so if I draw the chart like this, favorite pizza topping, so 50% like pepperoni, and 25% like cheese sauces, like, but 15% 10% like supreme, right? So basically the pie slices, the pie chart slices shows what? The relative size of the data, ki how many people like that thing, particular thing. Okay, it is typical type of pictorial representation of data again, right? Now it contains different segment and sectors, right? You know what is segment, sectors, right? You know that, right? In which each segment and sector of a pie chart forms a certain portion of the total percentage. See, total, if we take total angle is 360 degree, and total percentage is what? 100%, right? So the total of the data is equals to what? 360 degree. Okay, now if we want to find out, कि how many part he covers, ठीक है? So given data formula is what? The pie chart formula is what? Given data upon total data, total value of data, into 360 degree is the required answer for the formula, is the required formula. ठीक है? Okay, so how we use that formula we are going to learn. Okay, no problem. ठीक है, देखो कैसे करते हैं, let me show you. So what we have to do, we have to draw the pie chart for this question. ठीक है, so first of all we have to find out कि total value और central value. देखो हमारे पास क्या है ना, हमारे पास एक सर्कल है. अब we have to divide this circle in among football, hockey, cricket, basketball and badminton. So total is what? 10 plus 5 plus 5 20, 20 plus 20 is 40. So for this one we have to find out ki what fraction of this complete circle acquired by football. ठीक है, so how we find that? Value of that football upon total is 1/4. ठीक है, if I'm talking about in percentage कि कितना परसेंट वो कवर कर रहा है, so what we have to do, we have to multiply it by 100 also. So how much it gives? 25%, right? Are you getting my point? Okay, now next is for hockey. It is 5 by 40 into 100. So how much it is? 50 by 4. How much it is? 50 by 4, or it is 12.5%, right? And this is also 5, so it is also 12.5%. Okay, it is what? 10 upon 40 into 100. So it is 25% and it is 25%. Okay, so 25% of the total value. Now see, देखो, let me show you the solution of this question. है ना, देखो हमने क्या किया, what we do, first of all we have to find out for football, it is 25, 12.5, 12.5, 25 and 25, right? Now we have to find out the angle. So angle formula क्या था बेटा? Given data upon total value of data into 360. So this is given data, this is what? Given data, let me change the color, this given data is for 10 upon 40 into 360, right? So it will be what? 1 upon 4 into 360, it is 90 degree. Are you getting my point? And for this one it will be what? 5 by 40 into 360 degree, right? So how much it is? 45 degree. For this one it is 45 degree, for this one it is 90 degree and 90 degree. ठीक है, so देखो हमें क्या करना है यहाँ पे, सबसे पहले वी हैव टू ड्रॉ 90 डिग्री. सी 90 पार्ट is for football 90 degree angle, right? ठीक है. And next, this 90 degree angle is again for badminton. You can take it for badminton. Okay. Now next 90 degree is for basketball. And next 45, right? We have to take two parts. This 45 degree is for what? Hockey. And next ink color, what can I take? Yes, I can take this one. So this is for what? Cricket, right? So this is pie chart, okay? And we also make some. Okay. Now see, if I show you the solution of this particular problem. Now see, 90 degrees for football, 45 degrees for hockey, 45 degrees for cricket, 90 degrees for basketball, and 90 degrees for badminton. Okay. So this quantity you have to show this ki this particular thing is represented by football. So this part, this is 90 degree, right? Is represented by football. Basketball is this. So 90 degree is again for basketball. बैडमिंटन के लिए भी 90 डिग्री, राइट? एंड फॉर हॉकी इट इज 45 डिग्री, and for cricket it is also 45. So the data is represented in this form is known as what? Pie chart or circle graph. ठीक है, got it? Okay, now there are some practice question, we are going to do that. Okay, we are going to do them, right? Okay, yes. So on a certain day, what is the question? On a certain day, let me select the pen first. The temperature in a city was recorded as under, illustrate the data given by a bar graph. So the times are given and the temperature according to them are given. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to draw a bar graph for this particular data. Okay. So we can do that. Okay, we can do that, right? Simple as that, right? Simple, very simple, right? So what we have to do, first of all, we have to draw a line, x-axis and y-axis, right? This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So on x-axis, what we have to take? We have to take times, and on y-axis we have to take temperature, right? So according to this given question, 5 a.m. is there, 8 a.m. is there, 11, 3 and 6 p.m. Okay, and 3 p.m. and this is a.m. Okay. Now 2018 and so on the data. So I have less space. So we can start this from 2. You want to start this from 2? You can start it. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26 and 28, right? Now listen, what we have to do, we have to draw bars, right? So for 5 a.m. it is 20 height bar, right? So we have to draw a bar of 20 height like this bar. Okay. Now for 8 p.m. it is 24 degrees centigrade. So we have this degree Celsius, right? So we have to draw the bar graph till 24 like this. Okay, the width of the all the bars must be equal. Okay. Now next for 11 it is 26 like this. ठीक है. Now next is what we have to draw for 3 p.m. It is 22, right? So we have to draw the bar graph till 22. Okay. And next is 18. Okay. So the graph we got this like this. See, if you see, this is the proper bar graph. Okay. Okay. So you have to draw the bar graph on what? On graph paper. If you are going to draw the graph paper, the graph on graph paper, then you will definitely got a equal breadth, uniform width. Okay. Okay. Now next is what? Next question. I'm going to hint. I'm going to give some hint. You have to do this question by your own. Okay. Okay. Now imagine you survey your friend to find the kind of movies they like best, illustrating using a pie chart. Okay, we have to draw a pie chart. You ask your friend which kind of movie you like. So comedy, they like comedy, 4 movies comedy movies, 5 action movies, 6 romance movies, 1 drama movie, and 4 science fiction movie. Okay. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to find out कि how many movies he watch. है ना, 4 उसमें से उसको कॉमेडी की पसंद आए, 5 फॉर एक्शन, एंड हाउ मेनी मूवीज ही लाइक, टोटल मूवीज. सो टोटल मूवीज इज व्हाट? Is what? 4 plus 5 9, 9 plus 5 15, 15 plus 5 20 movies he like. So what you have to do, you have to find out the angles plus percentage for every movies, है ना. So I can write down the 4 5. Now comedy, for comedy I can draw that chart paper. Okay. So for comedy, for action, for romance, and for drama, and for science fiction, right? So how many movies for comedy? 4 5 6 1 4. Okay. 4 5 6 1 4. So first of all, you have to find out, see, total is what? 20, right? So first of all, you have to find out the fraction. So 4 by 5, 4 by 20, right? Basically. So it will be 1 upon 5 into 100 for percentage. So it will be 25%. And for angle, you have to multiply that by, this is not 25, 20%, right? For comedy, it is 20%, right? And for angle, what you have to do, you have to multiply it by 360. Okay. So yes, 72, right? It is 72 degree. Same, 5 upon 20 is equals to 1 upon 4 into 100, which is 25%. And if I'm talking about angle, so 25% is a 90-degree angle, right? Same for romance, same for drama, and same for science fiction. So if you solve for romance, how much you got? Let me see. 30% you got for romance. For drama, you will got 5%, and for this you will got 4. Yes, 20%. So you have to draw the pie chart like this. Okay, you have to make the parts, and you have to write down the angles also. Okay. Okay, so the chapter in this lecture, what we learn about the bar graph, we learn about the pie chart. In next lecture, we are going to learn about line graphs, histogram, linear graph, coordinate system, and so on. Okay, so till next lecture, stay safe. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Thank you so much. Bye.